What is going on, guys, girls? It's your guy, the Ethan, and today I'm going to vlog about my baseball life. Now, before I get started with this new vlog series I'm going to do, I want to know a few things. Number one, there will not be no names. You will meet the people later uh, who have. You will meet people who have taken me to these games. You'll meet them later on during this series. Number two, um, for this video only, they'll be referred as somebody else because the meeting and greeting is going to be a surprise. So it's basically what it's going to be is if I say, for example, if I was talking about going to a St. Louis Cardinal game with somebody, I won't say who it is until later on because personal reasons. There's a lot of things that kind of have complications. I want to make sure that you guys understand that. And number three, I'm sick with a bad nose thing. If you guys hear me sniffling a lot, you guys know why. It's been going on for about 7 months now. Kind of frustrating, kind of annoying. So, um, right now, we're gonna get started with talking about my baseball life, my favorite teams from the National League and in the American League, and then we're gonna talk about my favorite games ever that I've watched, that I've been to. I've been to. We'll go to how many games I've been to, my record, new rules of that will come out during when COVID is lifted, and all that kind of stuff. So let's get started by talking about my favorite teams and why I like those teams. So we're gonna start with the American League. Um, I gotta find the thing there so I can show you guys what is. I have my iPad right in front of me, my very great source here. We're gonna look at CBS.com. So really quick, so there will be a clip. Um, Sorry, guys. I kind of a wonky way to start with a vlog here, but it had to be done. So my favorite teams in the American League are the uh, Cleveland Indians, which they're not the Indians anymore. I just found out today. Boston Red Sox, New York Yankees, Tampa Bay Rays, Oakland A's, and the Houston Astros. So that is one, two. I like the Angels as well, and I'll explain why. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven favorite American League teams. Now, the reason why I like the Indians was because they were in the World Series um, in 2016. They kind of were the pinnacle team. They haven't won it since 1948. Um, Kind of a crazy thing, but it's the most darndest thing because, well, basically, I love Roberto Perez, Francisco Lindor, Terry Francona. I like the people there. My, why I like the um, Boston Red Sox, well, because they have that big, large green monster at their stadium. Um, I also I like it because they do have a good offensive line, even if they don't have Mookie Betts, but they do have a lot more things there. The Yankees, Aaron Judge, one of my favorite Yankees to ever step foot in a Yankee uniform. Um, Tampa Bay, I like them because of the World Series run they had last year in 2020 during this coronavirus pandemic. They showed the whole baseball world that they are there to stay, and it's kind of a crazy thing. Um, The Houston Astros, I liked them in 2017 when they won the World Series against the Dodgers. Um, the LA Angels, and and they were there in 2019 when they lost to the Nationals in the World Series. But that that kind of didn't make me feel good. I was, but I gave the Nationals credit because they won all three road games in Houston, and they won, and it was very surprising. So, um, the only Angels of Anaheim, I liked it because Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, all the players that you guys watch on TV and all that. The Oakland A's, Chris Davis, Matt Chapman, Stephen Piscotty, Matt Olson, all the players there that I like. And then for the National League, I like the Chicago Cubs. I know the guys are. I know that I'm a St. Louis man, but I'll explain why I love the Cubs. Um, Milwaukee Brewers, St. Louis Cardinals, obviously. Um, the Braves, the Phillies, the Nationals, and the Dodgers. So that is one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. So 14 favorite teams of 30. Now, the reason why I like the Cubs, and you guys might think this is really ridiculous, but I was a big fan of theirs when they won the World Series in 2016. They had a good roster then. They had a good veteran catcher David Ross, who retired after that year, came back as a manager 4 years later. So um, they're a good team. They're a good dynamic group of players. I like their style of play. I like what they do. So that's why I like the Cubs. I like the Brewers because they have Christian Yelich, Lorenzo Cain, Ryan Braun. They used to have Jesus Aguilar, but I like that also because of him. Um, they were a good team in 2019 that won the NL Central. Um, Fortunately for my Cardinals, it was not a good season for them to blow the AL Central on the last few days of the year in 2019. In 2018, um, I also like the Cardinals, obviously because being from St. Louis, you know, I love going to games. I love going to. I love seeing Matt Carpenter, Paul DeYoung, Goldschmidt, um, Colton Wong. He's not there anymore, but I like it. I like seeing those players there. Um, and then the Braves. I love the. I love like their whole roster is very much deep. They were up 3-1, but they lost to the Dodgers in the NLCS. Um, I like the. I like Acuna Jr. I like Ozzy Albies. Freddie Freeman's a good player on there as well. I'm more of a hitters man. I'm not much of a I'm not much of a pitchers guy with these teams. But as you guys know, there are many things they keep going with that. So um, I like the Phillies because of Bryce Harper, my favorite player on the Phillies of this moment. The Nationals, I was very credible of their World Series run in 2018. I was very surprised that they won the World Series. I was not happy because they beat my Astros, but giving credit to Dave Martinez for getting their bats and pitchers going. And then, last but not least, the LA Dodgers. I'm a big fan of them because, well, they are like one of the teams that has some of my favorite players like Mookie, Corey, Cody, Clayton, Kershaw, Jock, Kike, Mookie, Max Muncy, all those players. So so that's why I like those 14 teams in the league. Um, I so here's why I love baseball, and the reason why and I'll tell you when I started watching baseball when I got really into it and all that. So I started watching baseball in 2017, and I got a friend of mine. I won't say whose name, but he's from California, and he says, well, the way that I talk about this all the time, and I say, well, the way this goes is that they lost the World Series to my Houston Astros, and I'm a fan of the Dodgers back then because I didn't know anything about the Dodgers, so I was kind of rooting for whoever was up first. Um, the funny thing is though, when you look at it, the 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 LA Dodgers were a team back then, but and they are now because they won the World Series in 2020. But um, when when I started going to baseball games, I can easily remember winning all of those that one time. I'm 6-0 right now. I'm batting 1,000. I jinxed a home run call in the first game I went to in 2018. I was in a box, those party boxes with someone, and I said don't hit a home run. And 3 seconds later, Anthony Rizzo hit a 2-run shot into right field, and I was being harassed by somebody saying, "Well, you jinxed us and all this." I'm like, "Well, no, I didn't jinx because I didn't know what happened." But the person who said I jinxed was my own father. But um, I thought it was very interesting. I went to those games. I went to I went to actually three in 2018. It was a wild year for the Cardinals because going to they were in that run of their World Series. It was kind of a easy ride run. So when I went to the games I went to in 2018 for the Cardinals, I went to the May 5th game against the Cubs. The and then I went to the 8-6 game against and then I went to the 8-6 win against the Cincinnati Reds. I went to no, that was 2019. So I think I only went to two in 2018, and the two that I went to were the Cubs. Oh no, I think I only went to the Cubs games in 2018. I don't think I went to. Yeah, and I went to the Reds game in 2018, August 31st. Um, and then that was it. And kind of an unfortunate thing there, but so I jinxed the home run in 2000 and no, they will not be. I made a mistake posting those data somewhere else into another media page. I will not post them online because it's not going to work. So I did not go to those. I went to two games. I had 2-0 during that year. Um, so basically, right there, and then I said, well, you know what? The thing I have to do now is to say, wait until 2018 because I have a big gaming list coming out. I want to go see the Angels play the Cardinals. Sorry, Austin Kleschka, because we beat you guys the day I went. But that game was special. Um, the games I went to in 2019, I went to the June 1st game, they got rained out. We won 7-4. There was a 3-hour rain delay. Mother Nature took over that year. I went to the Los Angeles Angels game August 20, June 22nd. That got 4-2 win. I went to the I went to the which other ones? And then I went to the Pirates game. Oh, and I went to the first Cincinnati doubleheader, the 10-6 win on August 31st. And then I went to the Pirates game on August the 10th. And then I went to the September the 13th game, Cardinals and Brewers. So, I went to those games. I won all of them. So I'm 6-0, 4 games. Very surprising. And all this happened. So when COVID hit, I was going to go to a bunch of games. I was going to go to some teams that I haven't seen before against St. Louis and see how they fared. But when COVID hit, it was one of the hardest things in my life because they wouldn't allow sports spectators into the stadiums, and it was hard for me to kind of accept that, you know what, I can't do it anymore because this virus has just taken over the whole world right now, and because of vaccines coming, it might be a little bit better for Americans. But let's talk about right now. I went to. It was very surprising because when I went to those games, it was a very surprising thing there. It took a lot of time for me to kind of understand that, um, the way that I had to understand that I couldn't go. I didn't want to send fan cut. I'm not a big supporter of those. Um, I did want to just watch the games through and through. The Cardinals lost in the NL wild card against the Padres in the first round. Um, and then I went to the Cardinal game. No, and then I went just to watch the Dodgers win the World Series in six against Tampa Bay. I watched all of the NLCS. I watched all Fox broadcasts with Joe Buck, John Smoltz, all the characters down there. Kevin Burkhardt, A-Rod, Big Poppy, Frank Thomas, and all the players on Fox Sports. I'm a big Fox Sports fan. I love watching those games. I love watching their baseball games. I'm not. That's just something that I like to watch. So it was a very surprising year for me. 60 games. Dealing with that going on, and then everything else. So my favorite World Series moments. We're gonna talk about those. The best World Series games I've went to. The best World Series moments I've watched were in 2006 when the Cardinals beat Detroit. 2011 when the Cardinals beat the Rangers in 7. We'll get into the significance of that 2011 series in a moment. 2014 when the Giants beat the Royals, even though they knocked out the Cardinals in the NLCS. 2013 when the Cardinals were close to winning the World Series, but they got beat by the Red Sox. 2015, 16, 2010 through 20 is my favorite year of watching World Series games. I also like watching 2009, 2008, 2007 World Series games. Very surprising that those years were some of my favorites. Well, because the teams that were playing, they had competitive spirits. I also like 2002 when the Anaheim Angels beat the Giants in 7. Barry Bonds had a great postseason and all that. But the significance to the 2011 World Series was that I was at, believe it or not, a I was just young back then, but I watched highlights of it. David Freese was from St. Louis. You know, he went to Lafayette High School. He um, he saved the World Series for us in Game Six. In Game Six, when we were down two strikes to the Rangers in Game Six. Now, as you all can tell, it's a very surprising route that these play that went into. When they all won it, and it was a very, I was very supportive. I'm gonna renovate everything. It's a very surprising thing. Um, as you all can tell, I like 2014 because I was going for the Royals because of the Giants knocking off my Cardinals in the World Series. The Royals were close, but they lost to the Giants in Game 7. Madison Bumgarner was a good pitcher for that year, and I was like, this is one of the hardest things that really got on my nerves. It was a very worst thing that they did. It was kind of hard. I was in a bad situation when, sorry guys, I'm just looking online. But I was saying that, the one thing that gets on my nerves is that, when the Giants walked off the Cardinals in 2014, it kind of frustrated me because, well, the Cardinals won Game 2 of that series and it was a hard series. But, the Cardinals didn't make the postseason in 2016. I was going for the Cubs. And then 2017, they didn't make it, so I went for the Astros. I watch all Fox broadcasts because of the crew. Like I said earlier, I don't. It's not. It's not that I don't have anything against TBS. I just don't. I just prefer Fox better because they have a better cast of crew there. Um, so right now, my other favorite World Series was just when they just had a chance to play it out together. The Astros had hit a lot of home runs. George Springer won the MVP. And then, of course, the Royals won in 15. I watched that game. I had a friend who was from Kansas City, and he was happy about his Royals winning the World Series. He was scared when the Astros were up 2-1 in that best of 5 in 2015. I was very surprised that they actually came back and won it. Believe it or not, it was a very well fought series by them. So, if you guys are understanding that, that was a fun series. 2020, I was watching the whole NLCS and World Series from start to finish. And the Dodgers won that series, obviously. Both series. Cody Bellinger won the MVP. I thought Mookie Betts would have won it because of his defense in games 6 and 7. But they had to give Bellinger the MVP because of his bat. His bat played really well during the playoff of that year of 2020 during this time, and it was a kind of a hard thing to say because you talk about all these teams, and they always say, the way it goes is the Cardinals were top notch. Oh, not the Cardinals, but the Dodgers were a top notch team that year, top of the NL West, top of the National League in 60 games. One of the craziest things that went on with that was, well, one of the hardest years I've ever had to endure. 2019, I got to give the Nationals credit. They had a good run there. It was I wish they won it, but the best postseason moment for the Astros was when they walked off the Yankees in the LCS, and I was very happy about that. Into the Cardinals won the NL Central in 2019. I was hoping for them to go to the World Series, but the Nationals were a much harder team to go by, so that was why it was hard. Um, when you get down to it, 2020 was the hardest year because of COVID and all that. So it was very surprising that the Cardinals had the chance to win that National League and then they blew it. So one thing that you'll notice is that the Cardinal the my expectations for 2021. I mean, it won't be a full it won't be 162 depending on what the league says, but um what do you think? But my dreams are going for baseball from going forward. I want to go to more Cardinal games, and I want to watch Kansas City, not because of the Royals. I want to go watch my other favorite teams play the Kansas City Royals. I want to go watch my favorite teams beat them and continue my streak. The record is 6-0. Hopefully, I can keep it that way for the Cardinals, and then for the American League, I can make a separate record that doesn't collide with the Cardinals because it doesn't make any sense to do that. So hopefully when COVID is lifted, I can get tickets for Kansas City games and see what happens with those. Thank y'all for watching this first vlog of many. The next, I will be trying to get videos of the home run jinx and the walk off by the Astros, but you guys will probably. I'll post little info cards in the top of the screen that talks about the stuff there. So I'll show you guys full games on that info card up there. So if you like what you see, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.